Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Cuong Can Cook. Today we're making cheesecake. That's right, cheesecake. Everybody loves it. Here's some of the questions that I always ask. Why should I make a cheesecake? Is that even a question? Because they're delicious. I mean, the real question should be, why aren't you making a cheesecake? Another question is, why would I want to make a cheesecake inside the Instant Pot? Now that's a good question. You want to make it inside the Instant Pot because the Instant Pot is a pressure cooker and it keeps the water inside. It creates the steam and it's under pressure. What that's going to do is it prevents your cheesecake from drying out like it normally would in the oven. And because it's under pressure, it's also going to help your cheesecake from not cracking. That's one of the common mistakes that a lot of people make when making cheesecake in the oven, is they're upset that it cracks at the end. And so by making it in your Instant Pot, you're going to guarantee that there's going to be very minimal cracking, if at all. So that's why you want to make the cheesecake in there. Alright? Now, also before we start, as usual, every time we cook, you know that it's very important to stay lubricated. We've talked about this before. And I want to say a special thanks to some of the other people in the group. Especially LB, Rio, Allison, and Dawn, who reminded me that not to forget to lube up when we cook. And as long as I'm saying thanks to everybody on the Instant Pot community page, I also want to thank Rhoda for reminding me that we're going to need to use sugar and not salt in the cheesecake. Otherwise we'll end up with salty lime cheesecake, which is going to be bad. To Andrea Rivers, who reminded us that tomorrow is National Cheesecake Day. What a crazy coincidence that we're making cheesecake today and it'll be ready to eat tomorrow for National Cheesecake Day, which is probably when you're going to be watching this video. Another special thanks to Kelly Ackerman David, who reminds me that regarding this countertop, I should never take it for granted. And finally, a special shout out to Shelly, Beth, Darby, Melody, Susan, and Maddie, who gave us special pointers on how to grease our special pan. Let's get lubed and let's get started. Love that shandy. I got this 7-inch Daddy-O push pan off of Amazon. I've never used it before. In fact, I've never made a cheesecake before. Apparently how this works is when you make cheesecake in a regular pan, you're never able to get it out in one piece. So what this does is you make the cheesecake in this pan and then magically you're able to push up from the bottom and get your cheesecake out as a cheesecake. First step then, we're going to go ahead and cut out a circle of parchment paper to line the bottom with. That way we can get the cheesecake out of the bottom of the pan later. So I cut out a small piece of this parchment paper right here. And I'm going to draw a circle on it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut the circle out. I never stay in the lines with these things. I don't know exactly why. I'm not an in-between the lines kind of person, so this is really difficult. Normally I wouldn't even do this, except some people said that it makes it come out better, and I'm all for coming out better. Alright, so I got my circle here. And ta-da! The next step is to make the graham cracker crust. It's the basis for our cheesecake, so it's got to be important, right? I got my mixer, my magic bullet here, because I don't have a food processor. And we're going to take 5 graham crackers out of here. And put them in our blender. Alright, and blend these bad boys up. We got a nice graham cracker base. And dump this out in here. All right. We got our powdered graham crackers. To the powdered graham crackers, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. Again, make sure this is sugar, not salt, and also not cashews. Two teaspoons of sugar. You know what? Yep. Sugar. 2 tablespoons of melted butter. All right. Now we're gonna mix these up real good in here. Make our graham cracker crust. Gonna add them right here to our pan, which has the parchment in the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of our cooking spray and give it a few squirts along the side. Put our graham cracker crust in. I'm using my knuckles. We're gonna go ahead and put this down. Yeah, it smells good already. It smells a little sweet, and the butteriness, everything, it's all coming together nicely. This is gonna come out to be a great cheesecake, even though it's the first cheesecake I've ever made. All right, and this is gonna go into the freezer while we make the rest of the ingredients. All right, the next step is to make the filling. To make the filling, we're gonna go ahead and use Big Blue here. All right, Big Blue's ready to go. We are going to put in 2 packages of cream cheese. The key to making really smooth and good cheesecake, from what I hear anyway, is that you have to start with room temperature cream cheese. If you don't do this step and you start it out cold, what's gonna end up happening is that the fat in it is gonna get crumbly. You end up with lumps in your cheesecake. It's not gonna be smooth. It might be a little bit gritty. Unless you like bumpy and gritty, I would suggest that you leave your cream cheese out, like I did, on the counter for an hour or so before you get ready to start, and you'll have some nice room temperature cream cheese like I've got here. There's too much friction here. How do you normally deal with friction? Oh, that's right. You lubricate the friction. Remember that. Right here, go ahead, put in our cream cheese. We're gonna add in our 1/2 cup of sugar. Two eggs and 1 egg yolk. So let's see if we can do this. Remember I told you that the cream cheese had to be at room temperature. You also don't want to add cold eggs into it. Cold eggs aren't gonna end up lumpy. However, the coldness of the eggs may cause the cream cheese to get cold again, in which case you might end up with some less than desirable, not smooth pieces. So I got some room temperature eggs right here. All right, put that in. And 1 egg yolk only. Go ahead and see if I can do this separation right here. Alright, so we'll just get rid of the white part and save just the yolk. Well, that worked. Kind of crazy. And today we're gonna flavor this with some lime juice. What I did was, I don't have a lime zester, so I cut some of the skin off, and I've already cut it up real small here. This is gonna be my lime zest. I'm gonna go ahead and slice my lime in half and go ahead and add the juice in there as well. So let's go do that. So I'm putting in the juice of one lime. And a handful of the zest. It's zesty. That's right. Enough vanilla. Okay. Some people use the arrowhead shovel head looking thing. I was told that we should use the whisk, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the whisk this time. Alright. Oh, I totally did that wrong, huh? I don't think I'm supposed to put in the eggs yet, so this is gonna be a problem. Alright, we can solve this before it gets worse. Let's see if we can take the eggs out. And we're going to beat up everything except the eggs first. Yeah, that's coming together nice. Hey, so I think taking the eggs out was a great idea. I almost made scrambled eggs in there, and this would have come out really bad. So that was a good save. The cream cheese is smelling delicious right now. Everything's creaming together really nicely. And then at this point, I'll go ahead and turn it down. We'll add the eggs and just mix it enough to combine. All right, and that's what we got. I'm gonna go in the freezer and get the crust, and we will be having cheesecake soon. Man, that was a close one. I'm not sure if I was too lubed up or not lubed up enough. I almost mixed the eggs in at the beginning of the cheesecake. I think that would have been disaster. And I'm sure most of you saw me start to do that and said something out loud to your computer screen or your phone, but I couldn't hear you because I'm taping this yesterday. Anyways, I'm gonna keep lubing up because I think that's gonna make it more delicious. We finished making the cream cheese filling. It's ready to be poured into our pan, which we've got out here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, before I do that, I forgot, there's another ingredient. Cream, go in here. I'm gonna go ahead and fold this in last. I think this is gonna add a level of creaminess, but also it's gonna help make it more liquid. I think you can see that, right? Folding it in to our cream cheese mixture. This smells so good right now between the lime, the cream cheese, the sugar, the vanilla. It's all coming together. I'm gonna pour this into our crust. I really hope this comes out. This is my first cheesecake ever. And we're gonna put this into the Instant Pot for 20 minutes in a water bath. on manual. However, before we start, we have to think ahead. Once it gets hot, I don't know how I'm gonna get it out of there. And if you leave it in there too long, it's gonna overcook. So what we need to make is a sling. Okay, we're gonna take some aluminum foil, like this. Fold it over once. Oh, you know what? This is the dull side. I'm gonna make the shiny side out, because I like the shiny side of the foil. Once like this, twice like this. And now this way I can put this under the pan, and apparently once I can use that to get the pan in and out of the Instant Pot. All right, so Instant Pot's ready to go. We've got our trivet right here. Into the bottom, we're gonna pour 1 cup hot water. A lot of recipes say that you should cover it with foil or paper towels, but I like to live dangerous, so we're gonna leave it open because once you're lubed, you don't really need that other types of protection. All right, everything looks good in there. Go ahead and put our lid on. I'm gonna go manual, 20 minutes. And we'll see you in 20. All right, Instant Potheads, are you ready for this? The cheesecake has been in here for the 20-minute cooking time. And we're gonna go ahead and take it out. I let it cool down a little bit in here, so it's not too big of an issue to take it out. All right, we're gonna let it cool until it's nice and cool. Then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator. Ideally, you're gonna do this for at least a few hours. I'm gonna let it go in overnight. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge, I'm gonna sleep. When I wake up in the morning, we should have some nice, delicious cheesecake. We'll cut into it and we'll see how good it is, all right? So see you in the morning. All right? I was just about to put that in the refrigerator. I didn't even take it out of the pan. So clearly I need some more help. Now how do we get the cheesecake out of this push pan? You can do it with your fingers. I think an easy way, I'm gonna try to use this can of chicken broth. I'm gonna put it right here, and as I push down, magically, we've got cheesecake! And this cheesecake's looking pretty nice already. I'm gonna transfer it from here onto our plate. In the plate, I'm gonna loosely cover it. Loosely. And this is gonna go in the fridge for overnight. So we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, Instant Potheads. It's morning. I know normally we get lubricated before we do anything with food, but it's really early, so I think today's lubrication is gonna be mouthwash, actually. So that's already taken care of. Now let's talk about this cheesecake. I just pulled it out of the refrigerator. It's looking mighty fine. Come on in for a close-up look here. Okay. It's been sitting in the refrigerator overnight and looking good and delicious. Now before I cut into it, I want to make a mention of this is the first cheesecake I've ever made. And in order to get the recipe for it, I looked up a bunch of different recipes online. A lot of you in the Instant Pot community gave some great suggestions. The majority of the inspiration for this dish came from this old gal. I'm gonna put the link right here in the video. So if you go there, you can get the recipe that she made up, which has all of the measurements and the ingredients for how to do it that way. Clearly, I did not do most of those steps. I even put in some different ones and I completely messed up other ones as well. But definitely check out her site so you can get the recipes for not just this cheesecake, but a lot of other good stuff as well. All right, let's go ahead and cut into this cheesecake and see what we're dealing with. I'm not even sure how to cut a cheesecake. Do we just cut off a slice, or should I slice the whole thing up right now? I don't know. go at least in half. That might come off nicer. Check out this piece of cheesecake right here. That's look nice. That's set up real nice. Go in for our first bite. First bite of the cheesecake. The cheese is smooth. It's creamy. You got the sweetness, just a little bit. Just the right amount of sugar, I think. A little bit more and it would have been bad. The lime juice really comes through. There's a tartness that plays off really well with the cheese. And then everything goes together. The graham cracker crust on this is pretty excellent. So now you know how to make Instant Pot cream cheesecake, or cheesecake with lime flavoring. And continue to stay lubricated, and you all have a great National Cheesecake Day. We'll catch up with you next time we cook something. The next time we cook something with Cuong Can Cook.